I killed my boss with his own goddamn tie. Not literally, at least. Not in the way you'd think, but watching the life choke out of his empire felt just as sweet. His smug face turning purple as the boardroom walls closed in. I'd spent 5 years as Brielle Hayes, the invisible cog in the machine at Apex Ventures, taking the fall for his dirty deals. And now, in his skin, I was rewriting the script. The real shocker? He was screaming my name from my old body, begging for mercy, while the investors applauded the new leadership like it was their wet dream come true. It started with a betrayal so deep it carved out my soul like a rusty spoon. Ethan Caldwell, CEO of Apex, wasn't just my boss. He was the silver-tongued devil who promised me the stars if I'd just play along with his creative accounting. I was 28, fresh out of Wharton with stars in my eyes and a student loan the size of Texas, grinding as his executive assistant in the glass tower jungle of Manhattan. Apex was the hottest fintech startup, turning user data into gold for Wall Street sharks. And Ethan? He was the kingpin. All Ivy League charm and shark fin smile, with a Rolodex that could topple governments. One night in 2023, during a team-building retreat in the Hamptons, code for boozing and backroom deals, he handed me a USB drive. Brielle. Babe. This is your ticket up, he slurred, his breath like expensive scotch and lies. It was doctored ledgers, funneled offshore to Cayman shells, siphoning millions from investor funds. He was laundering through our platform, Apex Pay, which promised secure, ethical crypto trades, but was really a front for his poker buddies' Ponzi schemes. Sign off on the transfers, he said, eyes gleaming like he was handing me a golden ticket. I'll make you VP. No one will know. I signed. Not because I was stupid, God. No, but because he'd already woven the web. He'd planted the seeds, fake emails from my account to shell companies. Timestamps fudged to look like my late-night overtime. The betrayal hit when the feds knocked 2 weeks later. I was in my cramped Brooklyn walk-up, choking on instant ramen, when the door splintered. Brielle Hayes. You're under arrest for wire fraud and money laundering. Ethan's face on the news that night? Sympathetic crocodile tears. Devastated by the insider threat, prison was hell's waiting room. Rikers. 18 months pretrial because bail was a joke on my salary. The other inmates called me Wall Street whore, and the guards leered like I was the punchline to their bad day. Ethan visited once. Through plexiglass. His suit crisp as fresh lies. Sorry, kid. You were expendable. But hey, keep quiet, and I'll pull strings for a plea. I spat on the phone. The secret he buried? Those funds weren't just dirty money. They were payoffs to silence whistleblowers on Apex's data harvesting. They scraped user souls, selling depression stats to pharma giants, addiction patterns to big tobacco 2.0. I knew because I'd coded the backdoors myself, under his orders. And the crime I bore? It shielded his real monster, a slush fund for underage internships with connected daughters, veiled as mentorships. One girl, barely legal, had OD'd in his penthouse. Ruled accidental. Case closed. Out on house arrest in 2024, ankle monitor chafing like Ethan's conscience never did, I plotted in shadows. But fate, or some cosmic fuck you, had other plans. It happened on a stormy October night. Me pounding whiskey in a dive bar, off Wall Street, toasting to fuck you, Ethan. The place was a relic, neon flickering like dying fireflies, filled with brokers drowning regrets. I blacked out after the 6th shot, dreaming of Ethan's throat under my thumbs. Woke up choking on silk sheets that smelled like his cologne, Creed Aventus, The bastard signature. My hands, his hands, manicured, Rolex heavy. Mirror in the bathroom. Ethan's face stared back. 52. Salt and pepper fox with crow's feet from smirking at funerals. I screamed, a baritone bellow that echoed off marble counters in his Tribeca loft. Body swap. No explanation. No mad scientist, just me in his meat suit, heart hammering like a glitchy algorithm. I tore through his phone. Texts from board members. Handle the queue for shortfall. Ethan. Voicemails from me. My voice, slurring. Boss, something's wrong. I feel.
You.
He was in my body. Stumbling through my old life. Probably shitting bricks in my ratty apartment. The twist? It wasn't random. Buried in his encrypted drive. A black market app called EchoShift, experimental neural tech from a rogue Silicon Valley lab, peddling empathy swaps for the ultra-rich to understand their underlings. Ethan had beta tested it on me, spiked my drink at the bar through a proxy. To make you see my side, his notes read. But it backfired. The AI glitched, locking us in permanent inversion. His plan: swap. Extract confessions from Betrayal under duress. Then swap back and bury me deeper. Power play. Pure and simple.
Now.
I was Ethan Caldwell, and the world bent to his whims. First move, call in sick. Migraine. I growled to his assistant. Voice modulator app smoothing the edges. Slipped into his walk-in closet. Armani suits hanging like nooses. Drove his Tesla to Apex HQ. The beast purring through midtown traffic. Horns blaring like applause. Security nodded. I was the king. Elevator to the 47th floor. Glass walls framing the Hudson like a conquered sea. The boardroom was a shark tank. VCs in bespoke wool. Lawyers with eyes like contract clauses. Ethan sauntered in, coffee in hand. Gentlemen. Ladies, let's cut the bullshit. Q4 projections are fucked. Gasps rippled. I'd skimmed the reports en route. Apex was hemorrhaging. Data scandals leaking on Reddit. Users bailing like rats from a crypto Titanic. They leaned in, expecting spin. I dropped the bomb. I'm resigning. Effective immediately. Chaos. What the hell? Ethan, barked Marcus Hale. Lead investor from BlackRock. Face reddening like overripe tomato. This is suicide. I smiled Ethan's smile. All teeth and no soul. Not for me. I've got a golden parachute worth 9 figures. But for Apex? Sell off the assets. Liquidate the platform. Investors get 1.2x return if we move fast. Whispers turn to shouts. Controversial? Hell yes. Torpedoing a unicorn startup mid-stride. Pocketing billions while employees like old me starved. But in America's gospel of self, it was just business. Ethan and me burst and then, wild-eyed, my old yoga pants torn at the knee. Stop him. He's not. Security dragged me out. Tasers humming. I watched from the head of the table, heart twisting like barbed wire. That was my face, contorted in rage, screaming truths no one believed. It's Betrayal. We swapped. The board chuckled nervously. PR stunt gone wrong, I said smoothly. Get her to psych eval. NDA her ass. By noon, the stock tanked 40%, but bids poured in Google. Meta. Hungry for the carcass. I inked the deal from Ethan's private jet, en route to a sabbatical in Aspen. Champagne popped. Marcus called me visionary.
Visionary.
The word tasted like ash. But revenge isn't a sprint, it's a slow bleed. Ethan, trapped in my shell,
Fought back dirty.
from my monitored phone. Text to allies. Help me. It's really Ethan. None bit. I had his passwords. His dirt files. I leaked his internship logs to ProPublica Anonymous. Of course. Headline screamed, Apex CEO's predatory culture exposed. Subpoenas flew. He holed up in my apartment, pounding on lawyers' doors, but the ankle bracelet pinged every move. Feds circled back, sniffing old fraud scents. Nights were the worst. In his bed, staring at the ceiling fan whirring like accusatory fingers, I'd touch his face, and feel the ghost of mine. Dreams of the swap, wires in our skulls, AI whispering. Feel the weight. Was it tech or something darker? A deal with the devil in code? I dug deeper, hacking his servers with skills I'd honed in the shadows. Found the lab, Neuralink, funded by Apex Slush. Ethan's pet project, swapping elites with inferiors to mine psyches for market edges. He'd done it before. Test subjects vanished, relocated. The tension coiled like a spring. Controversial decisions loomed. Do I end it quick, frame him for the leaks? Watch him rot in my old cell? Or drag it? Make him taste every humiliation? I chose drag. Posed as him in video calls, greenlighting layoffs, 300 souls axed, including Brielle's position. Emails from his account to my friends, cut ties. She's unstable. Isolated. He cracked. Posting rants on X from my handle, deleted by me. Of course. The system's rigged. The boss is a monster in my skin. Public ate it up as mental break. Brielle breakdown trended. Memes of my face melting down like dolly clocks. I watched from his Hamptons estate, sipping his bourbon. The Atlantic crashing like judgment waves. Power was a drug. Heady and vile. But the UM crept in. Mirrors lied. Lovers, his string of models, flinched at my off vibe. 1. A lithe influencer named Lila whispered post-coitus. Ethan,
You're
different. Colder. I laughed it off. But inside, Brielle screamed. Was I becoming him? Climax brewed in December 2025. Snow blanketing the city like a shroud. Apex's funeral, the fire sale closed. Billions shuffled. Investors partied at the plaza, toasting Ethan's genius pivot. I slipped away, driving through flurries to Rikers. Bribed a guard with Ethan's black card. Easy. Anonymity in cash. Found him in Gen Pop. My body gaunt. Eyes hollowed like mine after the arrest. Brielle, he rasped. Chains rattling. Up close. It was grotesque, his soul puppeteering my flesh. Jowls sagging on my cheeks. It's me. You fuck, I said in his timbre. How's the view from down there? He lunged, but cuffs held. Swap back. The app, it's reversible. Code in my safe.
lies.
I'd burned the servers. But the twist hit like a gut punch. He smirked, yellow teeth flashing. You think I didn't plan for this? The glitch was bait. You're in my body, but my will's ironclad. Changed the will last month. Everything to Brielle Hayes if I disappear. Investors?
They own you now.
Step wrong. And SEC shreds you. Reversal. The empire wasn't crumbling, it was mine by proxy. Rigged to trap me. He'd borne no crime, he'd orchestrated mine to forge this cage. The betrayal deepened. The OD girl, his sister, covered up to protect family legacy. I'd taken the fall not just for money, but to shield his blood. Rage boiled. Controversial choice. Mercy, kill the truth. Or ignite the blaze. I chose blaze. Whispered to him. Watch me burn it all. Walked out. Called Marcus from the lot. Double cross. Apex data's tainted. Full dump to Wall Street Journal. Hung up. Torched the Tesla with his fob app. Boom. Orange bloom in the snow. By dawn. Markets quaked. Apex imploded. Lawsuits like locusts. Ethan, in my skin, got the payout. Poetic. Him rich in my name. But the feds nabbed him at the bank. Old frauds unearthed.
Me?
In his shell. I vanished to Mexico. Beachside cantina. New face via black market surgeon. Investors raged on CNBC. Caldwell's exit was sabotage. Platform? Crumbled to dust. Ending? Debatable. Justice or madness? I sip tequila. Waves lapping. His ghost in my reflection. Free, but forever fractured. Was it revenge? Or did I just swap one prison for another? The tequila burned going down. But it couldn't scorch away the itch under my skin. His skin, like ants marching through veins that weren't mine. Mexico was supposed to be escape. A sun-bleached reset where gringos like old Ethan washed up with fake mustaches and fat stacks. Puerto Vallarta. To be precise, palm frond cabanas hugging the Pacific. Expats nursing grudges over fish tacos. I'd ditch the Tesla Inferno with a duffel of his cash, $2 million. Give or take, and a one-way prop flight from Teterboro. Surgeon in Guadalajara. A disgraced Mayo Clinic dropout named Raul. Carved away the crow's feet for 50 grand and a promise of silence. You'll look like a movie star's evil twin, he chuckled. Scalpel glinting under fluorescent buzz. New face, sharper jaw. Eyes a shade bluer. But the mirror still whispered lies. Brielle stared back sometimes. Superimposed in the steam of morning shaves. Accusing. What now, she'd ask. Revenge sated? Apex was ash. Ethan rotting in ADX Florence, Supermax for white-collar wolves, his appeals drowning in the data dump I'd unleashed. Wall Street Journal splashed at front page. Fintech fraud. Apex's house of cards collapses. Users sued en masse. Class action goldmine for the lawyers. Investors? BlackRock dumped billions. Marcus Hale retiring to yachts in the Med. Cursing my name. Ethan's name over caviar. But closure? That's a myth peddled by therapists in Park Avenue walk-ins. The swap lingered like radiation. Half-life eternal. I'd wake sweating. Convinced I felt my old heartbeat. Faster. Younger. Pulsing in ribs too broad. Sex was a minefield. Bar girls in threadbare dresses recoiled at my American intensity, mistaking calculation for kink. Loco, one giggled. Fleeing with my pesos. Loco.
Mad. Fitting.
Word from the States trickled via burner VPN. Lila. Ethan's arm candy. Sold her story to TMZ. He changed overnight, paranoid. Whispering to ghosts. Page 6 speculated midlife breakdown, tying it to the crazy assistant's meltdown. My old body,
Post-bail.
had lawyered up with Ethan's retainer. Ironic. Him funding his own noose. But the public? They devoured the drama. Podcasts dissecting body snatcher Caldwell. Theorists blaming DARPA mind rays or Epstein's cryoclone vault. Controversy brewed. Was I a whistleblower hero, gutting a corrupt giant, or a vengeful psycho torching jobs for spite? Reddit threads split hairs. r/Wall Street bets cheered the chaos. Fuck the suits. While r/True Crime mourned the innocent layoffs. I could have stopped there. Let the embers cool. But secrets fester. And Ethan's had roots deeper than I dug. Boredom in paradise turned me hacker again. Tor browser, humming on a beachside laptop. Cracked his offshore vaults, more than money. Artifacts of depravity. Emails to a DR. Voss at Neuralink. Blueprints for EchoShift 2.0. Mass market soul trades for corporate team building. Test logs, swaps with rivals. Extracting trade secrets mid-conversation. One victim. A Barclays exec. Returned catatonic. Ruled suicide. Ethan's notes. Empathy is weakness. Leverage it. The real gut punch? My file. Not just the frame job. He'd groomed me from day one. Wharton interview. 2018. Spiked coffee with microdose psychedelics. Gauging loyalty under haze. Promoted me to EA because my psych profile screamed pliable patsy, high empathy, low risk aversion. The betrayal was an impulse. It was architecture. He'd bore no crime because I was the scaffold, built to buckle. Tension ratcheted when the call came, burner to burner. Lila's voice. Husky from tears.
Ethan?
If that's you. Come back. The will, it's contested. Brielle's claiming everything. Him. In my skin. Lawyering from the inside. Clever fuck. I hung up. Pulse thundering. Controversial fork. Ghost forever. Or return and gut the remnants. Return it was. Flew coach to JFK. Hood up. New passport reading Jack Harlan. Consultant. Manhattan hit like a slap, neon assault. Horns symphonies of rage. Subletta walk up in Hell's Kitchen. Ironic echo of my old grind. Infiltrated as Ethan's confidant, schmoozing remnants at underground fintech mixers in speakeasies off Bowery. Heard whispers. Apex's IP salvaged. Reborn as Nexus Flow under Marcus's new venture. Seed round closing. $500 mill. Ethan's parachute, frozen in litigation hell. Stalked him, me through shadows. He was out on technicality. Bond posted by sympathetic VCs. Spotted at Le Bernardine. My face bloated on foie gras. Toasting backers. To fresh starts, he said. Ethan's drawl from my lips. Rage flared. Hot and unbidden. Tailed him to a brownstone in the village, mine. Now his. Waited till midnight. Slipped the lock with a bump key from Raoul's kit. Inside. It reeked of my old life upgraded. IKEA hacks swapped for West Elm. But the ghosts lingered, framed Wharton diploma mocking from the wall. He lounged in our armchair. Scotch in hand, scrolling X on my phone. Who's there? He barked. Voice mine but timbre off. Like a bad dub. I stepped into lamplight. His face, my new one, calm as a loaded gun. Miss me, Brielle? His eyes, my eyes, widened, glass tumbling.
You. How?
Scrambled back. Knocking lamps. I advanced.
Slow.
Savoring the flip. Predator to prey. Text a bitch.
Huh?
Your app left breadcrumbs. Pinned him easy, his strength in my old frame. Atrophied by stress eats and court dates. Thought you'd won. Will in my name. Empire scraps for your taking. He laughed. Manic. Our name now. You think you can end this? The board knows. Marcus's tapes. Your resignation? Recorded. Step wrong. And you're the fall guy again. Twist reversed again. He'd anticipated the burn. Fed me false trails. The data dump? Half measure. rigged to expose only chaff, shielding core sins. Investors weren't dupes. They were complicit. Slush fund beneficiaries. My return? Bait for a trap. FBI sting on corporate espionage. Climax crested in that cramped living room. Snow tapping windows like impatient fingers. He lunged for a drawer. Gun? Panic button? I tackled. Bodies, ours, tangling in grotesque ballet. Fists flew. I felt ribs crack. Mine or his. Blood trickled his nose. My knuckles. You stole my life, he howled, my voice cracking soprano. No, I gasped, straddling. Hands on throat. Echo of the Thai dream. You built it to steal mine. Squeezed. Vision spotting. Controversial precipice. Kill. Claim self-defense as Ethan reclaiming his shell? Or release? Let law's slow grind pulverize? Choked words bubbled. The girl. My sister. She chose it. Party too hard.
You.
You're the monster now. Lie or truth. The OD file flickered in memory, autopsy fudged. But her diary. Buried in his drive. Ethan knows. Brielle saw. I'd glimpsed it once. Dismissed as gossip. Reversal's knife twisted. Maybe I'd borne the crime willingly. Blind to flags. Complicit in silence. Fingers loosened. Sirens wailed distant. His button? I bolted. Fire escaped slick with ice. Leaping rooftops like a fever dream. Landed in alley slush. Lungs burning. Free but feral. Dawn broke gray over the skyline. Coffee shops hawking $7 lattes to survivors. Checked news on a stolen phone. Fintech heir slain in bizarre home invasion. No, wait. Headline spun. Caldwell imposter flees after attack on assistant. He'd spun it. My face the victim. His story the heroes. Nexus flow soared on sympathy bump. Marcus crowing on Bloomberg. Settled like fog. Was it tragedy? I'd unchained a beast. But the cage reformed around phantoms. Ending debatable. Hero dismantling the machine? Or villain birthing a hydra? I hitched south. Thumb out to Jersey. New alias brewing. Brielle faded. Jack rose. Scarred but sharp. Yet in quiet moments, the swap whispered, what if we were the same all along? Power corrupts, but so does the hunger to wield it. America's dark heart, beating in us both. Jersey sprawl swallowed me whole, warehouses like concrete tombstones, diners slinging grease under flickering signs. Hitchhiked to Philly, then Amtraked west, chasing anonymity in the Rust Belt's veins. Pittsburgh, maybe Cleveland, cities where dreams rusted alongside mills. Perfect for a ghost in borrowed skin. Jack Harlan settled in a Steel City walk-up. Rent $800 a month for peeling wallpaper and a view of the Monongahela's oily shimmer. Day job, freelance coder for shady startups. VPN gigs auditing ethical hacks. Nights, whiskey, and what-ifs. The swap's echo chamber amplifying every creak. Months blurred into 2020 SXS brutal winter. Blizzards burying regrets. News from the East filtered like contraband. Ethan in my body, crown Nexus Flow's interim CEO. Brielle Hayes, the plucky survivor of the Caldwell conspiracy. He'd testified, painting me as the vengeful saboteur. A disgruntled ex with delusions. Tape surfaced, grainy boardroom footage of my resignation, voice modulator glitching just enough to sound unhinged. Jury bought it. Charges dropped. Countersuit pending. Marcus Hale? Knighted the savior. Forbes profile gushing Phoenix from fraud. Betrayal's aftertaste soured everything. I'd gutted Apex for justice. But the Hydra grew heads. Nexus Flow thrived. Scraping data bolder. Algorithms predicting user despair with eerie precision. Echo shift rumors bubbled on dark web forums. Neuralink relaunched under black budget veils. Elites swapping for perspective. Voss, the doc, surfaced in a wired exposé, not magic. Just neurons dancing. But his eyes in the photo? Haunted. Like he'd seen souls barter. The secret-eyed, half-buried clawed up. Ethan's sister. Lila, no. Wait. The OD girl was Tessa Caldwell. His half-sib from a scandalous affair. Diary excerpts leaked in the suit. Betrayal knows. She covered for him at the gala, saw the pills, said nothing. Truth inverted yet again. That night. Champagne flutes clinking. Tessa slurring warnings about the app. I'd laughed it off. Chalked it to coke paranoia. Complicity? My hands weren't clean. I'd wiped the counters. Called it accidental to protect my climb. The crime I bore wasn't just fraud, it was silence. The American sin of looking away for a rung up. Tension peaked in a dingy motel off I-76. March thaw dripping like tears. Burner buzzed. Unknown number. Lila's voice, real Lila. Ethan's ex. Not the sister mix-up. Jack? Or whatever. It's me. I know it's you. Heart stuttered. Tracked her via ping Vegas. Cirque du Soleil afterglow turned confessional. Flew red-eye. Slots chiming welcome in McCarran haze. Met in a dive off the strip. Neon bleeding through blinds. Lila. Gaunt in leather jacket. Chain-smoked Marlboros like oxygen. He told me everything. Before the attack. The swap. The why. Said you were coming undone. Why call? I rasped. His timbre gravel now from disuse. Ethan's not the villain you think. Or. Maybe we all are. She slid a thumb drive across Formica. Voss's files. Full echo shift logs. Plugged in later. Motel AC humming dirge. Swaps weren't accidents. Ethan pioneered it for rehabilitation. Force empathy on crooks. But twisted to control. My beta? Punishment for sniffing too close to Tessa's death. But the reversal. Tessa didn't OD. Poisoned by Voss. To silence her on-lab ethics. Ethan covered. Framed me as witness tamper. But guilt ate him. The swap? His Hail Mary. To feel my pain. Confess through me. Glitch locked it. Now he wore my shell to atone. Building Nexus Flow as redemption. Ethical AI. Data for good. Bullshit or breakthrough. Logs showed transfers. Tessa's accidental payout rerouted to whistleblower funds. Ethan's slush? Seeding startups for underrepresented coders. Like old me. Betrayal reframed. Not malice. But machination gone awry. I'd borne the fall to shield innocence. Or so he spun. Climax crashed in that room. Drive whirring accusations. Call Ethan? Expose the full rot. Torch Nexus Flow 2? Controversial calculus. Destroy the man who maybe saved souls through shadows. Or forgive. Merge our fractured halves? Drove rental to a payphone old school. No trace. Dialed Rikers collect, he was back inside. Appeals tanked. Betrayal, he breathed. My voice frail. Truth. Ethan. All of it. Pause. Then flood. Tessa's murder. Voss's hit for threatening exposure. His cover-up. My framing as collateral. To keep you safe. Close. Swap as apology. Glitch as karma. End it. Leak the logs. I'm done. I did. Uploaded anonymized. Tagged SEC.
Nytt.
Dawn broke as headlines brewed. Nexus flow. The swap scandal deepens. Stock cratered. Marcus indicted. Lila testified. Hero's arc. But the real end? By kitsch laced with grace. Ethan got paroled 2027. My body frail, but free. Met in a neutral diner. Upstate. Rain pattering like reluctant applause. Me stirred coffee. Eyes mine, but soul his. Swap back, I asked. He shook head. Permanently glitched.
But.
Truce.
Truce.
Debatable denouement. We co-authored a tell-all. Swapped shadows. Bestsellers splitting royalties. I funded a coding camp for Riker's girls. He lobbied for neural ethics laws. America debated redemption or PR polish, villains reformed, or wolves in sheep's code.
Years on.
I'm Brielle again, sort of. Surgeon reversed the face. But the soul's mosaic. Ethan lives quiet in Vermont. My old frame tending bees. We email holidays. Ghosts haunting inboxes. Revenge? It hollowed. Then healed.
Or scarred.
You decide. Hook's echo. I didn't kill him with his tie. We choked each other out. Emerged gasping. Investors lost. Platform dust. But in the dark, we found light. Or illusion. Fade to gray.